piled up. There is a massive, massive amount of decisions that have to be made. It is welcome back. Fantasy football season is officially here, and it only took about a week and a half. 7 GOAT rings in the chat. He says LFG. Let's go, man. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys. So as we are going to be doing, and I apologize, I'm trying to make a final last minute start sit decision in one of my leagues right here. I got AJ Brown. I got AJ Brown in a league. It's a dynasty league. Trying to make a decision on whether or not I want to just gamble and rock with AJ Brown on Monday night, or whether or not I want to just throw somebody in. And right now the bench isn't looking great. It doesn't look like I have a lot of options to throw in, so I might be just gambling and taking my medicine if he doesn't play. So that might be the decision. I'm sure a lot of people have that decision as well, so we will be talking about that here today. But if you guys have any start sit questions, if there's anything you are debating today, you need help with, advice with, that's what this stream is for. That's what we're going to be doing today. So there we go. We got about 25 minutes-ish, 27 minutes-ish until we get the final 90-minute kickoff inactives. And so we'll talk about those when they come in. But for right now, we're just going to be talking about some start sits. So hopefully you guys are excited for week 2. This is when it's time to come play, man. So let's see what happens. I do want to talk about a few things that, kind of have hit my timeline this morning. We'll talk about these as we go through until we get the start sits, but we'll just pull up my Twitter account right now. One thing I found very good is that you see right here from Ian Rappaport, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, he has no plans to retire. That's what the sources are saying. He has already begun to see concussion specialists and will continue to do so. There is no timeline for the return. Tua will be back, and he and his doctors deem him when healthy. So that is very good for us fantasy football-wise, and for Tua. That's very good for Tua that, he seems like he's going to play. We got Boy Yeats World. He says pick 2. A.J. Brown, Collins, Neighbors. Look, if you have options that good with Collins and Neighbors, I'm not gambling with A.J. Collins and Neighbors are good enough options that you can just play them 2 this week and live with the results. Because the bad side of that coin flip is that AJ doesn't play and then you don't have any other options. So unfortunately for me, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, in that league that I play in, my next best option is JSN, and I really don't like the matchup for JSN, and I don't like the usage for JSN right now. So he's a guy that I'm probably just going to play AJ and live with the consequences, see what happens. So for you, though, with Collins and Neighbors, you can play those guys. Another one here. Good news for the rookie. You see it right here. Marshawn Lloyd, hamstring, is expected to play against Indianapolis. That's good. We've been waiting to see what he can do when he gets involved. Still expect this offense to be pretty bad here today just because it's being led by Malik Willis. So we are going to kind of pump the expectations down or temper the expectations for these guys. But that being said, it's good to see that the rookie's here to play. And then really the only other thing, big news, like I said, Tua. There was 3 more small pieces of news that came out. Where are they? Josh Downs considered 50-50. If you have Josh Downs, we're probably still not playing him. Jaden Reed is expected to play, so I think we can fire him up. But again, with Packers players, we are tempering the expectations. And then lastly, Puka could miss 5 to 7 weeks. This is kind of where we're at. Josh Palmer tracking to play, all these things. So that being said, that's kind of where we're at. I've got news here about T. Higgins not expected to play. Keenan Allen could be used more sparingly. That's even if he does play. Rome Odunze could play. There's a lot of ambiguousness here. These guys are Sunday night games, so we're going to be a little bit cautious with this week. I do see we got a question from Evan, though. He says, who do you think I should go with, Tank Dell or Devontae Adams? I like Devontae. I just think he has a bigger role in his offense, and assuming you're in a PPR league, there's going to be more opportunities for points, PPR points. So I like going with Devontae Adams there. CX says the league with a flex emoji. Appreciate you. Brando says game day. Raul says the GOAT. Goat Ring says keep AJB in and use Mooney if he doesn't go, or move Neighbors to BTJ in the flex full PPR. Okay, so here we go. Keep AJB in and use Mooney if he doesn't go, or move Neighbors. Honestly, Goat rings. I'm probably with Neighbors being there. I'm willing to throw Neighbors in, um, and just bench AJ Brown. I'm willing to just throw Neighbors in there because I just don't believe uh, AJ. Here's the thing with AJ Brown, and this is the thing that is the most annoying with the Monday Night Football game type of deal is AJ. He's trended in the wrong direction all week. So he was a full participant, a limited participant, and then a did not participate throughout the week. So he's continued to get less and less work. Then he went from questionable, or then he went from active to questionable, and now it's a Monday night game. My worry with AJ Brown is that, say, Monday comes around, obviously worst case scenario is they say, hey, he's not ready to go, and now all of your guys have played. Now you can't play AJ Brown. We just saw that happen with Christian McCaffrey last week. You don't want to get Christian McCaffrey here this week because that lost people weeks. So that's the worst case scenario. The other case scenario is they say, hey, AJ, you're ready to go, but we might put you on a snap count. We might put you, a little bit more limited, or even worse, AJ, you're ready to go, quote unquote, ready to go. Then we put you in there, and now all of a sudden you're not, you re-injure it or you get a re-aggravated thing. It's not good. You don't play with those hamstrings. I would say it's not super confident, but my assumption, I would say it's probably a 40% chance that AJ Brown plays on Monday night, which 60% chance he's not going to play. And so if that is the case, you might just take your medicine here this week and play somebody on Sunday and just live with the results. Because if you can get 10, 12, 15 points out of somebody in a PPR league, on Sunday rather than wait, I think that's what I'm going to do. I know AJ has the chance to win you a week, and if he goes out there and does put up 20 points, and he is healthy and whatever, like, obviously you wish you would have put him out there, but there's more opportunities for him to burn you this week than there are for him to save you. So I'm just probably not willing to do that. Raul says, will Marshawn steal carries from Jacobs? I think he can eventually. I don't know if he's going to do it this week or down, even the next couple of weeks, but eventually he probably will take a couple of those carries from Jacobs. Doing the Most says, hey, brother, good morning to you, dude. CX says, pick 3, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, London, Harrison, Olave. This is a damn good wide receiver room. I am going with Garrett Wilson, Harrison. Actually, let's go Garrett Wilson, Ayuk, and London. I'll put Harrison on the bench this week and Olave on the bench this week out of these. Neither of those guys should be on your bench, but the wide receiver room is so damn good that that's what you're going to do. Tunchi says, what the hell? What the hell? Aziz says, my only thing is I have McMillan and A.D. Mitchell on the bench. I don't know if I want to risk either of those guys. That's the thing, right? If you don't have a good enough player that you feel like is a difference maker, like, then you can wait on AJ Brown. That's what I'm doing in my league. I don't have the talent on the bench to be able to throw, one of these guys in. My bench is beat up. It's injury filled. So that being said, I have to wait on AJB, and if he doesn't play, he doesn't play. At the end of the day, I probably wasn't going to win if I threw in one of these bench guys anyways. I also got James cooked on Thursday night. So, McMillan, A.D. Mitchell on the bench, probably lean AJ in that circumstance and just pick up anybody you can pick up, because the reality is, even if it's Ray McLeod or, Jahan Dotson off the bench, like, they could give you 4 or 5 points maybe, and, that's close probably to what McMillan or AD can give you if they just have an average day. So in that case, yeah, you probably just wait on A.J. Brown because you don't have the talent. But when we were talking earlier about guys like Neighbors and things like that I think are top 20 plays this week, top 15 plays this week, like, Neighbors is a start of the week for me. He's getting into my lineup no matter what. You got to put him in. So that's where we're at there. Brando says Eckler or Warren in my running back 2 PPR. I actually like Eckler this week, man. Last week he was used in the receiving game a ton. It looks like he's going to continue to be used in that receiving game. You get him here. He gets that New York Giants defense. It should be a solid matchup, and so because of that, I think we can throw him in and get him as the RB2. So Doing the Most says, Can you help me? I sent a picture of my bench in the Discord. I need a flex today, and all of my bench sucks. Let's go look at the Discord picture. 1 second. Where are we at? All right, who should I start off my bench? Whoa, why do your games look like that? At Arizona, that looks weird. 14th, is that like an add-on or something? Anyways, the bench. You need a flex. Chuba, Lazard, Higgins is out. Tyler Johnson, Schoonmaker. Of these guys, you put in Lazard. Of these guys, you're going to put in Lazard. He just looks like he's going to be involved enough in that offense, so he would be the guy. Flame says Zamir White or Andre Yoshavash got Puka, CMC, and Walker injured. Dude, I feel this. I have a league where I have, T. Higgins, Raheem Mostert, Puka Nacua, Jake Ferguson. Like, I'm in shambles right now. The beginning of the season has been kicking my ass in a lot of leagues. But Zamir White or Yoshavash, I think we're going to go with Yoshavash, to be honest. That's going to be a tough game, but I think that's the guy that you go with. Doing the most says I have Wilson too, though. Wilson who? Oh, you have Garrett Wilson already in your lineup. Yeah, you still probably play both. That's what I'm doing anyways. I just don't love any of those other options for the most part. Unless you really want to gamble with Tyler Johnson. If you want to gamble with Tyler Johnson, he would be the other one. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I think it's Tyler Johnson or Lazard for me. Carter says pick 2 out of the 3. Full PPR. We get BTJ, Madison, D-Rob. Ooh. I like D-Rob and I like BTJ. I like that. So I would go with those two guys, Brian Thomas Jr. and DeMarcus Robinson. Vegas Sinatra says Pollard or Schultz in my flex versus you in the league. You ain't getting shit from me, brother. If you playing me, I ain't giving you advice. Read it and weep, brother. Grim Reaper says standard big play bonus. Replacing A.J. Brown, Pickens, Flowers, or Najee. Pickens, Flowers, or Najee. Big play bonus. I really don't like the matchup for Pickens this week because he gets to play against Pat Surtain. Flowers isn't a big play guy, though. And he's really more so a PPR guy. I think Najee might be the move here. Najee might be the move only because I think he can get into the end zone. So I think Najee is the route that I would go here, Grim Reaper. Doing the most says, thank you, you to GOAT. No, you to GOAT. And Vegas Sinatra says, F you, respectfully. Respectfully, F you too, man. It was it's gamemanship. You can't hop up into the stream and ask me, who you're playing against, who you want me to start for you. That's disrespect in itself. So F you respectfully. That's you already trying to get disrespectful. I appreciate you being here though, Matt, but god damn, you trying to help me or you want me to help you beat me? That ain't going to happen. Come on now. Brando says play neither. Play neither of them. There you go. Whatever. That league that we're talking about right here, the one where I play against him, folks, that's the league where I have Puka on IR. I have Mostert out. I have, Higgins out. I have Jake Ferguson out. Like, my team is in shambles. I think this week I'm starting Zach Ertz as a flex tight end, and I'm throwing in Adonai Mitchell just to see what we can make happen. I have Anthony Richardson, so I'm hoping the stack, gives me a little bonus, whatever. But there we go. He says, name drop me too. Come on, man. I didn't give the full government. Doing the most says it might rain. Will that affect Aaron Rodgers? A vet like that? Probably not. I'm not too worried about it. To be honest, yeah, I'm not too worried. But I will tell you this, doing the most. If you want to diversify, you don't want to have two Jets. if you are worried about something like that, Tyler Johnson isn't a bad plug-in. Like, if you want to go Tyler Johnson over Lazard, I'm okay with that. It's not a bad play to do that. Raul laughing. What else we got here? Brando says that is rough. Maybe you should start neither to help a brother out. Yeah, look, if you want to do that, Vegas Sinatra, go ahead. We got all the laughing emojis. I love it, man. Where else are we? Juan says, who for my wide receiver 1, 2, and RB 1, 2, and flex? Okay, so we just setting the whole lineup right here. Running back 1 and 2. You started with the running back. So you have Brees, Walker, Ford, Kyron, Jacobs. We're going to start Kyron and Brees Hall. 1 and 2. Wide receivers. You have Jacoby, Mike Williams, Ridley, Pierce, DJ Moore, Tank Dell. I'm going to go DJ Moore and Dell. So that's wide receiver 1 and 2. Running back 1 and 2. Now we need a flex. Ridley, Ford. It's between Ridley, Ford, and Jacobs, and I think I'm going to lean with Josh Jacobs. So I'm going to go Hall, Kyron, Jacobs, Moore, Dell. That's the route we're going there, Juan. And he says full head-to-head point system. So there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Ralph says that was comedy for real. Love it. No Lattimore today. Lamb to the moon. Hell yeah. I'm throwing in Brandon Cooks in the league just to see what happens. I don't know. I'm down bad, folks. Like, to be honest, usually, like I said, I've been hit with the injury bug across a ton of teams already to start the year. I'm down bad, bro. Like, honestly, it's week 2, and it feels like it's week 9. I feel like I'm getting my ass kicked. It's not fun. It's not fun. My teams are in shambles at the moment, and I'm trying my best to scrape by. I think the problem is that I was overexposed to Puka Nacua. I was overexposed to Puka Nacua this year, and now I'm getting, whatever. I'm getting cooked for it. Where are we at? Standard big play bonus, Jalen Hurts or AR-15. Well, big play bonus, give me AR-15 because he has the arm. But Jalen Hurts, man, and Jalen Hurts doesn't have he may not have AJB. So give me AR-15 with the big play bonus, but that's a good, you could go either way. I don't think there's going to be a wrong answer here. Caleb says pick 2 to start. B-Rob, Monty, Pollard, and Ford. I like Monty and Ford. I like those two, assuming that it's PPR. If it's not PPR and it's standard, I like Monty and Pollard. But if it's PPR, Monty and Ford. That's the way that I would go. Brando says, it's crazy that Sleeper is saying to not play Christian Kirk at all today. People are kind of overreacting to last week. We'll see what happens. If it's 2 weeks in a row where it looks like he's not being utilized like he was last year, he might be cooked. It might be done. But I'm willing to give him one more week. This is a pretty decent matchup for him as well. Florian says, Gus Edwards or Javonte, better matchup for Gus? Yeah, I like the matchup for Gus a little bit better. That defense that Javonte plays against, the Pittsburgh defense, it's kind of tough. And then Gus Edwards, they should be beating the hell out of Carolina, so they should be running the football a ton. Chance for him to get in the end zone as well. Doing the most says your team sounds rough. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I don't know what to do, man. I am so injured right now, which, this is part of fantasy football, and this is the one part, fantasy football is a lot of, we project, we can do as much research as we want, but at the end of the day, there is some luck variance to it, right? Like, we can't control injuries, we can't control the production on the field. We can look at snap counts, we can do all this other stuff. There's a lot of luck to fantasy football as well, once it comes down to playing the games, but I've had the bad luck injury bug, and I'm just trying to float by. Look, I'm just trying to float by until my guys get healthy. Once my guys get healthy, I'm confident I have a really good team, because you throw Puka and T. Higgins and Jake Ferguson in a lineup with Pacheco and Jalen Hurts and Rashad White and some of these other guys, Jordan Mason. Like, that is my team. All of those guys healthy, it's a good team. They're just not healthy right now, so we're plugging in anybody we can just to get us some extra points. Vegas Sinatra says I'll reap the benefits. I look, anybody who plays me early on with the injuries, they're gonna reap the benefits. But we play against a median as well, so I'm just trying to beat the median, and then if I can beat my matchup too, bonus points on top. But let me just beat the median and keep floating at 500, until my guys get healthy. You just got to make the playoffs. Week 2, we're not too worried about long term. We just got to make the playoffs. That's all. Once you get in, anybody can win it. Tunchi says Jerome Ford or Zay Flowers PPR. Shoot, man. I like Zay Flowers in a full PPR. But the thing is that they're going to beat the hell out of the Raiders, I think, and they may not need to throw the football in the second half, but he should still put up enough points in a full PPR league that you can get enough out of him and feel confident. So I think I'm going to go with Zay Flowers there. Brando says I'm starting him over Keenan, so hoping for the best. That's Christian Kirk. Yeah, I mean, Keenan may not play, and if he plays, he might be on a pitch count, so I don't blame you. Raul says Pacheco, Jacobs, Dobbins, Henry, pick 3, 10-man team, standard scoring. For me, it's Henry, Dobbins, Pacheco. Those are the 3. 10-man standard scoring. There's a chance that Jacobs gets into the end zone and maybe runs a little bit because they don't want Malik Willis to pass the football, but I think that the game script is better for Pacheco, Henry, and Dobbins, and I think in a standard scoring, that's what you want. You want those guys on the field. So that's what I would be doing. Look, we're about 7 minutes away from final inactives. And so we'll just keep an eye out for that. And once those inactives come in, we'll have some more things to talk about. But if you still have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer. CXK says, is Justin Herbert still elite? I'm hesitant to start him. Yes, he's still elite. The scheme isn't, the best scheme for him at the moment. They don't have a lot of receiving weapons. Also, that being said, this is going to be a game script here against Carolina where, like I said, they can lean on that run game and they can just run the football and grind the clock out. So this week, he's a rough start. If you have other options, to be honest, let me pull up. I'll give you some other options in case, you have any of these guys. I'd play Caleb Williams over him. I'd consider playing Trevor Lawrence over him. I would consider playing Fields over him, Stafford over him, Baker Mayfield over him this week. These are guys that I would play over Herbert this week if you had the chance. But I'd still play him over guys like Rodgers, Jones, Geno, Kirk Cousins, Darnold. Like, I'd play him over those guys. But, yeah, he's kind of a low-end QB2 this week, and I think that's really just because of low passing volume. Raul says Jerome Ford or Amari Cooper at the flex, full PPR. I like Jerome Ford more at the flex in a full PPR. I just think he gets more usage than Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper saw 9 targets last week, but only 2 of them were the balls that he was able to come down with. Jerome Ford, he's used in the receiving game. He's used on the ground game. He's used on the goal line. Jerome Ford is definitely a sneaky piece right now. Vince, Herbert or Geno? I like Herbert more this week than Geno. 7 Goat Ring says 10-team, full PPR, Superflex, start 11, Jay Jettas, 25 late second, or Gibbs, BTJ, 25 early second. Give me Jay Jettas in the second over Gibbs and BTJ. Give me Jay Jettas in the second. That's what I want. Best player in the deal, best wide receiver in football. And in a 10-team, you want as many of those hammers as possible. Jay Jettas is an actual hammer. So I would take Jay Jettas in that dynasty trade. Christian got Gibbs, Montgomery or Madison is running back 2, full PPR. I like Montgomery more than Madison this week. I think Madison is fine, if you have to flex him and plug him in due to an injury or something like that. But I know you'll be double dipped in that Lions offense with Gibbs and Monty. But I'll tell you what, right now I have Montgomery as a top 15 guy. I have Gibbs as a top 10 guy. So you're playing 2 top 15 running backs. I know they're in the same offense, but that's where I'm at. So there you go. Final couple minutes before these inactives pop in. Once these inactives pop in, like I said, there'll be a little bit more news to talk about. Let's let me show you guys. I'm actually going to show you guys this team where I am struggling to field a lineup this week because of injury. So I'll show you guys kind of what I'm dealing with as well. Let's get this off the screen, and then we'll go here. You should see that. So here's the team, man. A-Rich, Rashad White, Jordan Mason. I had to plug in Shakir. This was my fill-in. Let's just go to the bench. Look at this. Puka Nacua, IR. Higgins, doubtful. Mostert, out. Ferguson, doubtful. This team is bad at the moment. We're down bad just because of the injuries. So let's show you how I am fixing this. Throw in Shakir for Puka. Give me 10 points, fine. 80 Mitchell goes in for T. Higgins, whatever. Zach Ertz, he comes in for Ferguson. I had to pick him up off the waiver wire. He was a stream of the week for me on the BDG channel. I'm gonna, practice what I preach and throw Ertz in to stream him here, and then I throw Ford in for Mostert, but he probably was gonna be in there for him anyways. If Jalen Hurts, Pacheco, call me crazy, call me absolutely crazy, but I still think that this lineup can win this week with Richardson, Mason, Collins, Ford, Pacheco, Hurts. I still think that this lineup has a chance, but maybe I'm crazy. But I'm actually down bad in that league. So I just wanted to show you that lineup because we talked about it on the stream so far today. I feel like we needed to get that one in. Jake says, Skull. Appreciate you, Jake. And it is a good damn Skull day because we do get to play against the Niners and Sam Darnold gets a revenge game. So, James, what do we got here? Full PPR. Start Dobbins or Ford in the flex. I like Ford more than Dobbins in a full PPR. Alrighty. It looks like we do have the final inactives that have come in. So these are going to kind of be coming in here in the next couple of seconds. Looks like Twitter is going to be letting us know what's going on. We've had Jake Ferguson officially out. DJ Reed is out for the Jets, so good, if you have a receiver going against the Jets. Their second best corner's out. Jake says, love how everyone's doubting us. Me too, man. Raul with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Raul, man. He says, thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you always, supporting the channel. It means a ton to me. So, thank you always for your super chat. Thank you always for your support. It means a ton to me. Jake says, oh, and full PPR questions. Wandell or Palmer? I like Wandell more in a full PPR. And Ford or Stevenson? Give me Ford in the full PPR as well. Cameron says, you like Jacobs or Robinson Jr. in half PPR better? That's tough, man. Because like I said, it's in a half PPR league. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be used. I don't know how good the offense is going to be. I think he's still going to be better than Brian Robinson. So I would plug in Josh Jacobs over Brian Robinson in a half PPR. But I still am just, if I'm throwing in a Packer in my lineup, I'm recognizing that the floor could be very low this week with Malik Willis. So I'm throwing him in over Brian Robinson, but again, we're tempering the expectations there. Marv or Neighbors for the third flex, full PPR. I'm throwing Neighbors in. Neighbors was my start of the week. I'm throwing him in there. And I'm living with the results. I think he's going to have a better week than Marvin Harrison, unfortunately. So there you go. Frank says, 6-point touchdowns, Daniels or Kyler. Love the content. I like Kyler. I like Kyler in the 6-point touchdown. I'd say I'd start him this week. Spacenfeld says, PPR, my last flex. Sutton, JSN, Pollard, or Brandon Cooks. I like Pollard. I like Pollard as the last flex. Secondary option for me would be Brandon Cooks, but I think Pollard is better than most of these guys here this week with his matchup. Cameron says, yeah, B-Rob against the Giants is so tempting, but thanks for the response. Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate you being in here and asking questions. Jordan, full PPR, start Pickens or Sharps in the flex. I like Sharp. Sharp in the flex. Pickens has a really tough matchup. Justin Fields didn't score an offensive touchdown last week. Charbonnet should be the full bell cow, and we should be ready to roll. So give me Sharps. And here we go. Adam Schefter just hit us with the official notable inactives. So let's pull that up. And here we go. So here you go. Official notice or notable inactives. Kenneth Walker not playing. Jake Ferguson not playing. Josh Downs not playing. Jack Conklin not playing. DJ Reed not playing. Actives, Jaden Reed will play. Josh Palmer will play. Joey Bosa, it's Joey Bosa, will play. So that being said, with Kenneth Walker out, we can fire up Zach Charbonnet. With Ferguson out, if you have to stream the position, there's a lot of streaming options you could probably pick up and go, assuming you have open waivers. If not, you probably were preparing for this week, so you already have somebody in anyways. I'm playing Zach Ertz over Ferguson this week. I was contemplating between Cade Otton. I was contemplating between Schoonmaker, the backup tight end for the Cowboys, and even like Noah Fant. But Josh Downs, we didn't expect him to play. It's fine. We're still going to keep firing up. We don't have to fire them up, but you can fire up Alec Pierce as long as Josh Downs is off of the active list. And then with Jaden Reed in there, I think if you had Jaden Reed after last week's performance, you probably are still throwing Jaden Reed in as a flex. But again, like I said, with Green Bay pass catchers this week, we are tempering the expectations. Sam Tucker, would you start Elliott or Charbonnet in 10-man full PPR? I'd go Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is the play in that situation for me. So not bad, man. Here we are, man. We're about 90 minutes till game time. Want to stick on and keep answering some questions if you guys still have them. Obviously, as long as we are live, we're going to keep answering these questions. But whenever I feel, whenever I feel like it slows down, we will kind of wrap this up because I like to, chill a little bit before game time and get my lineups in order as well. So, Ken, Aaron Jones or Pollard, running back 2. I like Aaron Jones. It's a tough defense, but I like Aaron Jones. What do we got here? Running back 1, Gibbs. Running back 2, Montgomery or Pollard. I like Montgomery as the running back 2 in this situation. Have them both as top 15 backs this week. They didn't put it on notable players being active, but Jameson Williams is active as well, so I feel like that's a notable player. I don't know why that wasn't mentioned. Devin, we got Rachaad White or DJ Moore in the flex PPR league. Give me Rachaad White. I think Rachaad White is the better play there. You can get him on the ground game. You can get him in the receiving game, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's the highest game total of the weekend, so I like that matchup there. Flame says, thoughts on trading away Olave and Warren for ETN and JMO. Olave and Warren for ETN. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I actually think it's a good trade for you if you feel like you do that. I think JMO is way better than Warren right now, and ETN and Olave are somewhat similar, so not bad. Spacenfeld said, just taught my 1-year-old twins how to do the skull chant. Dude, it might sound crazy, but I remember when you were preparing for those twins. It's been that long that you've been around the channel, and that's dope, man, that you've taught them to do the skull chant. So congratulations, man. Happy for you. Vince says, 12 teams, start 10 dynasty, Jay Jettas or Rice and Gibbs. Which side in a dynasty you get Jettas or Rice and Gibbs? That is tough, man. I think I lean with the Rice and Gibbs side. There's more value there, especially if you're a contender. And how are we valuing Rashee? I'm valuing Rashee as a top 15 wide receiver in Dynasty right now. I think that's just where we got to value him. Gibbs obviously is like a top 5 back in Dynasty right now. I think, unfortunately, as much as I love Justin Jefferson, this is one of those trades where I think I go with the Rice and Gibbs side. Ken says, doing God's work, brother. Good luck, everybody. Appreciate you, Ken. Thank you for hopping in, and good luck to you too here this week. Janum says Kyle Pitts or Ingram for tight end. I like Kyle Pitts more. He's the guy that I would play. Gopher, starting JJ, Chase, Cook, and Kamara. Do I flex Adams, Neighbors, Amari, Dobbins, PPR? I like Neighbors. Neighbors is the guy that I'm starting this week. He was a start of the week for me. Throwing him in as the flex, I think he has the most upside. Should be good. So throw Neighbors in there with that team. Kenny says PPR, Sutton, Singletary, JMO. Who should I start at the flex? Throw in JMO. I think JMO's the guy that you want to put in a PPR league. After last week, I can't imagine throwing him back on the bench. This is a game with a high over-under. Should be a good game. Throw JMO in. Klinka. We got PPR. Do I flex McLaurin, McConkey, or Ridley? I'm really scared of McLaurin. I think for me, let me just double check and reference my rankings that I have right here, because I'd imagine I have most of these guys all close in my rankings. That way we can just kind of discuss some of the matchups here as well. Where are these guys at? So McConkey against Carolina. This defense is pretty bad. There's a chance that he gets going, but there's also a chance that they lean on the run. I think he's somebody I'm probably not going to be playing out of these guys. For me, it's between Terry and Ridley. Ridley's probably going to see Sauce Gardner, and so I guess I go with Terry McLaurin. I'm still so nervous about McLaurin, but he has the best matchup, and so I guess we go with him today. Just got one more tweet here from Schefter. He says more inactives for today. So let's go back and look at this for a second. Jordan Love, I don't know why that came up. Jordan Love, Marshawn Lattimore, Kamani Vidal. We get Jameson Williams, DeForest Buckner, Talise Fuaga, and Tommy Tremble. So there you go. Nothing crazy. We kind of expected most of those, if not all of them. And we already kind of knew some of those as well. So Timbo Slice. We got Brandon Cooks or George Pickens, full PPR. Give me George. Give me George Pickens in that scenario. Raul says, just realized my Niners playing against your team. LOL, good luck. Yeah, dude, we're going to need it. The Darnold redemption game. And we looked all right last week. I think people are counting us out a little bit too much. I think the game will be closer than I think. But, again, optimistic Vikings fan, you know what it is. Whatever. Brandon says Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, or Zach Charbonnet at the flex. I like Devontae Adams. I think I like Devontae Adams the most at the flex, assuming this is a full PPR. If it is not a full PPR, if it's a half PPR or a standard, I like Charbonnet. But a full PPR, give me Adams. Herbert or Fields this week? I like Justin Fields more. The rushing upside, I think it gives you a little bit more upside here this week. And like I said, with this game against Carolina, the Chargers, they shouldn't be competitive. If it's a competitive game, that means the Chargers are playing really bad football. It should not be competitive. I think Fields is the better play this week. Alrighty. Sam. Should I start Calvin Ridley or Devin Singletary in my second flex spot, PPR? I think I would go with Devin Singletary over Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley has to see Sauce Gardner here tonight. It's going to be, not tonight, today, but it's going to be a tough matchup for Ridley. It's going to be a tough matchup for Levis. Singletary just profiles to be a little bit better play here. I think he can even get into the end zone. Raul says, okay, last minute adjustment. Rochelle White, that's Rashad. Aaron Jones, Shabby, full PPR. Last minute adjustment, full PPR. I like White. He's the better play for me out of all of these guys. I still think that he's going to be a very solid play this week. I have him in a full PPR. He's even better. But in a full PPR, I have this guy as a top Where are we? Where are we? 15 play. I have him as my running back 15, and I think that's pretty solid. Should I drop Darnell Mooney for Demarcus Robinson in Dynasty or hold? In a Dynasty, I would rather have Darnell Mooney, but B-Rob should have a little, or D-Rob should have a better couple weeks than Mooney, but Mooney's the better Dynasty player, I think, to hold on to your roster, so I'd hold. Standard PPR, Diggs, or DJ Moore? Standard PPR. Well, standard, is not PPR, and PPR is PPR. So I'm assuming that just means like a normal full point per reception. Diggs or DJ Moore at flex. Bears got many players that are questionable. I would probably rather play DJ Moore than Diggs this week. Yeah, I'd probably rather play DJ Moore, but standard PPR, that's a tiny bit confusing. Andrew says, half-point PPR, Godwin or Marv. I like Marv more in that situation. Sam, appreciate it, man. I'm going to stay subscribed. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you for, subscribing, and thank you for sticking around. Over the next week or so, check out some of the other content, some of the other stuff that isn't live streams. I feel like you'll like it, so stick around, stay subscribed. Kenny, start 3 full PPR, Jay Jettas, Neighbors, Dell, Godwin. We're going to start Jettas, Neighbors, and Godwin. Those are going to be the 3 that I play, Kenny. Raul says pick 2. Oh, of the Rachaad White, Aaron Jones, and Sharp. So I would go Rachaad White, and then I would go Aaron Jones over Charbonnet. But Charbonnet and Aaron Jones are back-to-back in my rankings. So if you don't want, you're a Niners fan. If you don't want to root against or root for Aaron Jones to have a good day against your Niners, you can plug Sharp in. I have them back-to-back. Niners Worldwide says Niners. Appreciate it, brother. Whatever, bro. Clinkadink says, how would you rank Charbonnet, Dobbins, Mason, and Jacobs PPR? So Mason would be my number 1. Then it would be Jacobs, and then it would be Dobbins, and then it would be Charbonnet here this week. So I think Mason and Jacobs would be the top 2, and then followed by Dobbins and Sharp. Kenny says, pick 1 flex PPR, Wandell targets or Zay wide receiver 1. Pick 1 to flex in PPR. Give me Zay. He's getting targets and he's wide receiver 1, and it's a better team. Wandell, he's kind of a PPR scam at the moment. We'll see what happens though. Grayson, full PPR. We got Dak or Baker, and Najee or Ford. Look, I think I like shit. Dak and Baker's a good conversation. For me, just based off of my rankings over here, I knew it was close. That's why whenever I have to go reference, I know it's close. I have Dak as QB 10. I have Baker as QB 11. So technically, based off of my rankings, I have Dak 1 spot higher. Now for Ford and Najee, I do have where are we at? Ford is my running back 24, Najee as my running back 26. So I do go Ford. So let's go Dak and Ford here. Sam says, trying to choose one for my final flex spot between Ayuk, DK, Olave, Brian Thomas Jr., and Ladd in full PPR. Trying to choose one for my final flex spot. We got Ayuk, DK, Olave, BTJ. I like Ayuk the most, as the one final flex spot. Ayuk is the final flex. Man, dude, your team must be really damn good if you have Ayuk, DK, Olave, BTJ, and Ladd, and we're choosing to put 4 of these guys on the bench. That's kind of crazy. But I would definitely go with Ayuk there. Raul says, well, the Vikings had the dub against San Francisco last year. Can happen again. Anything can happen any given Sunday. That's the motto, man. JJ says, pick 2 to start. You get DJ Moore, Pittman, Worthy, and Drake London. I like Pittman, and I like Drake London. Those would be my 2 picks for me there. Brandon says, I forgot I have Jameson Williams. Do I flex him, Devontae Adams, DK, or Charbonnet? I would not flex him over who I told you before. I think I told you before Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is the guy that I would still flex. Excuse me. That's the problem, man. Drinking carbonated energy drinks in the morning, I feel like it'd just be making me hiccup and burp and stuff, man. I apologize. Now I'm all here on a live stream acting like a damn caveman. I apologize to y'all. Kyle. Pick 3. Nico, Dell, Neighbors, Marvin. We're going to go Nico, Neighbors, Marvin. Dell sits on the bench for me. Ben. Running backs are CMC, Jordan Mason, Mixon, James Conner. Wide receivers are Waddle, London, Flowers, J-Mo. Which running back should I trade for a wide receiver? You going to go crazy if I say CMC? If you trade CMC, nah, I mean, you have Jordan Mason, so you can kind of sit. But low-key, I don't know, man. My gut tells me if you can trade CMC and somehow get like an A.J. Brown type of player maybe, if somebody thinks you can do that, I would maybe consider it. But if you don't want to trade CMC because you have Jordan Mason, that's totally fine. James Conner would be the running back that you trade because I'd rather have Mason and Mixon for the next couple of weeks. But, yeah, I'd consider shopping around CMC if you can get an elite wide receiver like Jefferson, AJ, Chase, one of those guys. Like, I might consider that. So there we go. Next up is Jay Stacks. We got PPR 12-man. Do I trust A.J. Brown or start one of either McLaurin, Cooks, or J-Mo? Yeah, this is tough, man. So Jay, I was saying earlier that I am in a situation similar where I have A.J. Brown, but like my starting options are a little bit untrustworthy. And I feel like these starting options are still a little bit untrustworthy. I think I like Jameson Williams the most of all of these guys. And I'm more comfortable in Jameson Williams than I would be anybody else. The way that I see it right now is that A.J. Brown is probably 60-40. Like, I think there's a 60% chance that he misses this matchup and a 40% chance that he plays. And if he plays, there's a chance that he's limited. Just because the trajectory of the week has been negative. He went from a full participant to a limited participant to a did not participate, and then it went from active to questionable. So it's like almost like it's been getting worse throughout the week. The rumor is that he's going to test it out in the pregame and let them know how he feels. It feels very similar to CMC. CMC was saying, not that I don't think AJ is going to go on IR, but CMC was going to test it out. He was active. He was going to play, and then Monday night came around and he didn't play. So that being said, I'm not really wanting to trust AJ Brown. That said, I probably would play J-Mo over A.J. Brown in this situation, unless you can somehow pick up like Jahan Dotson, Darnell Mooney, one of those guys. Like if you can pick one of those guys up off the waivers, then I'd pick them up and then just trust A.J. Brown. And if not, you can plug in somebody from Monday's game. But J-Mo's not a bad start if you just don't want to play that game. RSG says, how do you feel about the Raiders' backfield in PPR? Have Madison and considering flexing him over JSN? I don't mind you flexing Madison over JSN. I hate the matchup for JSN this week. I think JSN hasn't, unfortunately, I've been a JSN truther in the past, me. That being said, we haven't seen anything out of JSN to prove that he is going to become what we think he was going to become. They're not using him that way. Lockett is getting used over him still. Second coaching staff, they still prefer Lockett over JSN. It's tough. This is also a bad matchup. New England, it's not going to be a lot of points. They have a good defense. I don't mind you playing Madison over JSN. And to be honest, I think rest of season, I prefer Madison to Zamir. If you ask me how I feel about the Raiders backfield in a PPR league, I prefer Madison over Zamir the rest of the way. We got Harrison or Smith at flex. I figure if A.J. Brown is out Monday, I start Smith. I say no matter what. If A.J. Brown is in or if A.J. Brown is out, you start Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was a start of the week for me as well. He's going to have a very good game. I like Devontae Smith over Marvin Harrison. Will the Beast. says A.J. Brown or Aaron Jones for the flex. Similar conversation, man. A.J. Brown, he's a player that I don't really want to get burnt by this week. There's a chance he plays. If he plays, he might be on a pitch count. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. But if you have good players that you can flex in over A.J. this week, I'm not uncomfortable playing them. Aaron Jones is a good player. You can play him over A.J. Brown. Obviously, there's risk that A.J. plays and has a good game. I put it at 40%. And so A.J., if you can avoid him this week because you have other good options, I would do it. I would avoid him. I wouldn't get caught up on Monday night. It's not worth losing my week. The best way that I would go about this is, are you more comfortable losing your week because you benched A.J. Brown and he somehow plays? Or would you be more willing to lose your week because you trusted A.J. Brown and he doesn't play and now you lose because you don't get any points? I would rather give myself a chance. At least plugging somebody in on Sunday gives me a chance. If he plays and he goes off, whatever. You live with the results, whatever. But that being said, I'm not trusting and then getting zeroed donuts on Monday. That's not what I want to happen for me. So we saw that happen with CMC. It cost people weeks. I don't want that to happen. And so I'm not trying to trust A.J. Brown if I don't have to. Jonathan says, jumped in and already answered my A.J. Brown question. What's good? Appreciate you, Jonathan. Look, it's the A.J. Brown question of the day, man. Josh says, oh, here we go. Actually, I skipped one. Sorry. Clink says, any panic buy lows to target with my friends about before kickoff. You can buy Kenneth Walker cheap. If you can buy him cheap right now, go get Kenneth Walker. If you can get, you're just buying injuries. If you can buy Kenneth Walker and you don't need him to play this week, go buy Kenneth Walker. If you can buy T. Higgins on the low, go buy T. Higgins. If you can buy A.J. Brown because somebody's panicking, go get A.J. Brown. Target the injuries. See if you can buy, 1 or 2 weeks out of those guys where they're not going to play for me this week, but next week they might be healthy and I'm ready to go. So I'd be targeting those types of guys. And then give them somebody, obviously, they can play this week if they are nervous. Josh says, JSN or Zeke, PPR. Zeke for me. Josh says, Purdy or Burrow. Give me Purdy. Andrew says, crazy. Cooks over London, PPR. Ferguson is out. 2 option. Home, 7 targets last week. Cousins can't throw. London has more competition. Both offenses may score a lot. Yeah, I'm not playing Brandon Cooks over Drake London, unfortunately. They may score a lot, and Cooks did have the production last week, but I just trust London more. I would not. I can't technically throw my Drake London after 1 week and 1 bad performance. I can't throw him on the bench and then just say, be done. I'm not doing that. Power to you if you can. I can't. Yeager says Montgomery or Ford at the flex. I like Montgomery. He's the guy that I would play. Starting Monty over London. How bad is this game going to burn me? Or how bad is this? I don't think that's going to burn you at all. I like Monty this week. I think Monty has a good matchup. I don't think it burns you I don't think it really burns you at all. I think Monty gets into the end zone too. Brett says, in a tough position because of Ken Walker. Full PPR, Chuba or Bigsby. Am I crazy for wanting to play Bigsby? No, you're not crazy because I think Chuba and this offense sucks. Sucks, man. Chuba was a drop candidate for me last week. I dropped him in my own league, my home league. I dropped him. I saw enough. See ya. He's not even being used in the receiving game. They're using Miles Sanders in the receiving game. So when they're down, they're going to Miles Sanders. What the hell? What the hell? Get rid of Chuba. We don't need Chuba. Play Bigsby. Rank London, Marv, Ladd, BTJ, half PPR. Rank them. We're going to go London, Marv, BTJ, Ladd. That's the way I'm going. Jonathan says Michael Wilson or Adonai for my flex. Already put Lockett in that AJ spot. I like Adonai more than Michael Wilson this week. I'd play him. I'm actually forced to play Adonai in a league, but I don't mind throwing Adonai in there. Flex DK or Sharbs, PPR. Give me Sharbs. I like Sharbs more than DK this week. Profiles to be a little bit more of a positive game script for the running back than it does for the wide receiver. DK gets a little bit of Christian Gonzalez, who is a damn good corner at the NFL level. Charbonnet should have some solid work in the passing game and on the ground. Cody says Godwin or B-Rob at flex full PPR. Give me Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin looked good last week. He's going to look good this week. He's a safe PPR flex option for you. I think he actually has probably wide receiver 2 upside here this week. So there you go. We're about an hour into this stream, folks. If you still have questions, as I mentioned, keep them coming in. Happy to keep answering these as they hit the inbox. That being said, we're about 1 hour to game time. Pretty excited. I think my lineups are all pretty much set. I made the tough decisions that I had to make just a while ago. Don't love it. Don't love it. Like I said, I'm injury riddled. I'm sure a lot of you guys are dealing with some injuries as well. That's why you're in here. But yeah, man, tough week. Like I said, it feels like injuries picked up quickly. All right, let's get back into some of these questions. There are a couple here. You see that carbonation got my eyes watering, man. Brandon Wells, full PPR, Jerome Ford or Charbonnet. I like Jerome Ford more than Charbonnet this week. I think they're similar plays, but Jerome Ford is probably the better play. So give me him in this situation. 430 Anakin says Aaron Jones or Zach Charbonnet. I like Aaron Jones more than Zach Charbonnet here this week. I think he's going to be using the receiving game. He's using the run game. He looked good last week. Aaron Jones is the guy that I would go with. James says, just wondering why Ford over Dobbins in full PPR. Dobbins would figure to have the better game script versus Carolina. Yes, but the fact is you're in a full PPR league. Dobbins isn't really going to be catching passes. It's still a little bit of a committee in Los Angeles. Last week, Gus still was getting carries. Dobbins had the big plays. He had a 61-yard run and some others, so he looked good, but he still only had about 10 carries. Ford, he saw the majority of the workload. He was used in the receiving game. I want to say he had like 6 or 7 targets off the top of my head in the receiving game. He came down with all of those passes. So Jerome Ford in a full PPR, he's game script proof, and he is a full-on bell cow in this backfield. So he's the guy that I would definitely go with over them. Jonathan says that's that shit. With no preseason, there's no game reps, and people get hurt because they aren't going against the one other. Yeah, it's a problem, man. It's a problem, and for whatever reason, I, in every league this year, for whatever reason, bought into Puka Nacua, and now I have Puka hurt in every league. I have Jake Ferguson hurt in damn near every league. I have more than I want of T. Higgins, and he's hurt in every damn league. I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting. I drafted Hollywood Brown in the BDG league. I drafted Raheem Mostert in a league. Brother, I have injuries left and right. And so I'm just trying to stay afloat. But that's what this is for, man. The good managers, they make the moves, they make the adjustments, and then they stay afloat through the injuries. You just make the playoffs. If you can make it in, you got a chance to win. That's the way it is. Get in and win. That's the motto for me this year. Usually I'm trying to play for bye weeks. I always want to get the bye weeks because your probability of winning a championship is much better when you get into the byes. But this year for me, get in and win. With injuries, we're getting in and winning. That's it. Josiah says, drop Rome for Jaleel. Wide receiver and running back rooms are fine. No. I'm not dropping Rome for Jaleel. Rome has much higher ceiling than Jaleel does if there were injuries to the guys above them. So Rome would be the guy that I would still keep for now. James says, thank you. No problem. Brando says, I need one flex wide receiver or one flex PPR. Okay, sorry. He says, sorry, one wide receiver and one flex. McLaurin, Jameson, and Worthy. So we're basically picking 2. I like J-Mo and Worthy. Those are the 2 guys. Oh, I just saw news about A.J. Brown. Folks. Big news, actually. A.J. Brown's downgraded to out. A.J. Brown is downgraded to out. If you have A.J. Brown, do not play A.J. Brown in your lineups. A.J. Brown is downgraded to out. And Evan Engram has suffered an injury in pregame warmups. Let's go to here. Evan Engram suffered an injury in pregame warmups. He has been ruled out. So no Engram. Do not play Engram. And then A.J. Brown downgraded to out. So here we go. If you have A.J. Brown questions, do not play A.J. Brown, obviously. Do not play Evan Engram. Make your adjustments. Here's the thing. If your waivers have ran, Evan Engram has not, you don't have a backup tight end. You need to make an adjustment. Monday night's game, you're going to be looking at tight ends in Monday night. Obviously, you're looking at Kyle Pitts backups because he's already going to be rostered. You're looking at Dallas Goedert's backups because he's most likely rostered. So unfortunate, but that is where we're at. So here we are. We got to make the adjustments. Let me go actually in my league and now bench A.J. Brown. We got to go bench A.J. Brown. Sleeper. This is very unfortunate, folks. Very unfortunate. We had A.J. Brown in the flex. Going to have to put him on the bench. I think we're going to have to play. I hate the matchup, but we have to play JSN. JSN is our play, and then we'll move Diggs down here because I like having the Sunday night guys in the later window. Man, this is unfortunate. This room is horrible, but we had to make the adjustment. And then I don't think we have Engram anywhere. Let's just search. I don't think we have him anywhere. We shouldn't. So we should be all right. That sucks, man. That sucks. But there you go. Have to make the adjustments. All right, let's get back to these questions. Jonathan says, there goes Engram. Brando says, dang. McClash says, Zeke or Christian Kirk instead of A.J. Brown. I would rather go Christian Kirk. With Engram out, with Evan Engram out now, you got to go Christian Kirk. He's the better play. Cosmic says, at running back, should I start Gus or Ezekiel Elliott? I would go probably Ezekiel. And then at flex, we go Kirk or Sutton. I would go Christian Kirk because Engram is out. So that's a better play. Got a league mate text me about A.J. Brown. I know. So there we are. All right, folks. Anything else? Any other questions? It's starting to slow down a tiny bit. As these questions slow down, it'll give me time to go do what I got to do. But let's throw in. Let's run about 10, 15 more minutes, assuming we have enough questions for that. But we'll run about 15 more minutes. So I am going to put a 10-minute warning, 10-minute timer on this, and then I'll go get some lunch before some kickoff. But damn, folks, no A.J. Brown. How inconvenient. I mean, at least for the most part, at least they told us today, so we could make some adjustments. At least they told us today. 430 Anakin says, or F30 Anakin says, is it worth it now to consider Brian Thomas as a bigger flex? I think he's a better flex for sure. But I think that because Engram and Kirk both play in the slot at times and they work across the middle, it actually improves Kirk more. Thomas is just going to play on the outside, but obviously he has, some more red zone opportunities now because the bigger guy in Engram is not going to be on the football field. So a little bit of a bump up for BTJ, but I think the biggest beneficiary of this is Christian Kirk. Deacon says full PPR, need one running back, one flex, Najee, Jerome Ford, Godwin, Demarcus Robinson. So one running back, I like Jerome Ford, and then one flex, I like Godwin. So we're going to go Ford and Godwin here. Damn, man. Damn. That pregame injury to Engram sucks too, man. That kind of put managers in a tough spot because if injuries already ran, then like we said, not good. Jonathan says, let's get this dub even with the injuries. Until then, peace out. Facts, man. We overcome the injuries, man. Good managers, they make the moves and put themselves in the best position to try and overcome. That's what we're doing this week. That's why you guys are here. But, yeah, man, it sounds like you're peacing out, so peace out. We'll see you on the next one. Recap tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll see you there. What else we got? SP14 says need to start 2 of these 3 in PPR. We got Godwin, Pittman, London going up against Mike Evans. Start 2 of the 3. I like London and Pittman. I like those 2 guys the most. Soul Train, flex Dobbins or Jameson Williams. I think I like Dobbins more in this situation. The game script should benefit him, so I like him there. Man, like I said though, I don't want to keep harping on it, but at least we found out about AJ Brown today before the Sunday morning games, because I told you it felt like it was trending very CMC-ish, where he was not going to play and we were going to get caught, hands down, whatever, that's a basketball term, your hand down, you're not contesting the shot. Sounds like we were going to get caught with our hand down there on Monday night. Noah 305, should I start Ezekiel Elliott? I have CMC, Kenneth, and they are both injured. If I shouldn't start him, can I have some pickup or trade options for him? Full PPR? I think you can play him. Obviously I don't know who the pickup options or some of the trade options are for him. If you could give me, some of the guys that are on the waivers, I'll tell you if I'd play them over him, but the chances are you probably are just comfortable starting Ezekiel Elliott with them out for 1 week. Dondre says, start Dell or Worthy 12 team. I like Dell more than Worthy this week. McClash says, I'm in a battle of injuries. Hell yeah, me too, dude. Having K9, Brown, Ferguson, and Downs on my bench while my opponent has T. Higgins, Mostert, CMC, and Tua. At least it's it's same, fair, because you both have injuries. I have a lot of these guys on my team. I have Mostert, Higgins, Puka, Ferguson, all of these guys on my team. My opponent's fully healthy, so it kind of sucks this week. But we'll see. Soul Train says, thanks, brother. No problem, man. Appreciate you being in here. Appreciate you checking out the content. Hopefully you stay subscribed and check out some of the other stuff as well. So appreciate you being here. We got one more little piece of news here, it looks like, that came in. It's stuff we already kind of knew. Ian Rappaport says potentially significant Jaguars tight end Evan Engram injured his hamstring in pregame warmups and has been ruled out for today's game. We knew that. That's unfortunate. And they also said Jaden Reed is officially active for week 2. We kind of knew that already as well. So we should be good. All right, folks. I'm going to give us 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Throw those final questions in. We got a 5-minute countdown here. Noah says, yeah, the waiver is not looking good in my league. Hey, in that case, you're probably more than fine, starting Zeke this week and just living with the results. It should only be a 1-week thing, because I think Kenneth Walker will be back next week. Yep. I think we may be all right. I'm going through. I'm going to check my final lineups with you guys. Let you know if I have any other final decisions that I'm making. Seeing what we can do. We already took AJ Brown out the lineup. We already we're good in that league. Good in that league. There, and the final league. I think we're good, man. I think we're good. All right. Stafford, Jones, or Fields this week. For me, it would be between Stafford and Fields, but I think I want to go with Stafford over all of these guys. I think Stafford should have a pretty good game here against the Cardinals. So let's roll with Stafford in this one. All right, folks. Well, it looks like we are getting to the end there. There is not really any more questions coming in, so I am going to end that one here. We went about an hour and 10 minutes. That's good. That being said, folks, if you have subscribed today, I appreciate you. Stick around. Lots of content coming your way, trying to help you guys win your fantasy football championships. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It is the best free way to show this channel some support. So let's run that like number up. It is free for you to do. It's very easy for you to do. And last but not least, that being said, if you guys want to hop in a free Discord, I do have a Discord. It's linked in the description. I am going to be in there all the way up until kickoff, answering extra questions that you guys may have, because I know we may not have answered all of them. We do have this last one from Josiah. He says, how many leagues are you in? I am in 2 redraft leagues. I am in 4 dynasty leagues. And then I'm in like 90-something best ball leagues on Underdog at the moment. But those don't really count. So managing leagues, I have 4 dynasties and 2 redrafts. Not a crazy amount, but a good amount that, it keeps my hands full. So there you are, guys. Appreciate you. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Everything that happens today, we will be recapping it on a live stream tomorrow morning/afternoon, depending on if you're on the West or the East Coast. But keep an eye out for that as well. Going to be recapping all of Sunday's games. But with that being said, I have nothing else for you guys today. So I will see you on our next episode. Until then, peace out.